How do we make a sentence in Spanish? So we're going to start with the most simple way. We need a subject, a verb, and an object. So in Spanish, we have the different subjects. The yo, tú, él, or ella, usted, the you formal, nosotros, ellos, they, or ustedes, you all. And of course, in Spain, they use vosotros for the you all informal, which we will not be delving into much. No? So you need the subject, and once you decide on the subject, so we'll start, for example, with yo, and you have to think of, okay, what is this I? What am I? What do I do? So I want to say that I teach. I have to think, okay, that's the verb enseñar. That's a verb you find in a dictionary, to teach. But of course, you have to change the ending into the subject yo. So yo enseño. And then, of course, you have to think of, okay, what do I teach? So that would be the object. So yo enseño español. And then we have the complement, which can be an additional information that you want to provide. And in English, you have to think of, okay, to whom? Por ejemplo, a los estudiantes. And then you can also mention that in a place, in la universidad. So here we start with the yo, the subject, then the verb, enseñar, to teach. And I say I teach. So when you say I teach, then remember to change the ending into the subjects. And then what you teach, to whom, that's extra information, and where. So in la universidad, you don't need it to understand that I teach Spanish. Now, you also can make a sentence negative, and you may want to say that you don't do something. So, of course, you're going to use now the to, you, singular. So when you talk to the person, say to, and then you want to say that they don't dance. So, of course, after we know who does the action, in this case, to, you need no. So like you do not. And remember that in Spanish we do not have the do to make a negative. So to no, and then, okay, what is it that you don't do? So bailar. So bailar is in the infinitive, to dance. But of course we have to say that you dance. The AR has to change into the ending for the you person that teaches, that dances. So tú no bailas. And of course, then, what do you dance? So, tú no bailas salsa. And you can provide additional information like when you dance salsa. So, los martes, Tuesdays. So here we provide additional information with when. So you can dance salsa Tuesdays. Remember, no is placed before the verb. It follows. And again, because you have bailas, you don't need to on the sentence. Now for él, ella, and usted, we have 3 subjects and 1 form of the verb. So that's why usually we'll have the pronoun or the name of the person. So you can say Juan, and then we'll make another positive sentence. So Juan aprende inglés. So he learns Spanish. So of course the aprende is from the verb aprender, to learn, but we have to change the ending, and of course after the subject goes the verb, then inglés, and then you can specify when, how, or how well. So muy rápidamente. So very quickly. You can also have an ella subject, so we'll have Ana, then no practica voleibol después de clase. So after class, Ana después de clase, not after class. ¿No? One S. So Ana doesn't practice volleyball after class. So you could stop it at Ana no practica voleibol. If we already know that we're talking about volleyball and we want to skip, or we just want to say that Ana doesn't practice something, you can finish at Ana no practica. No? Or Ana no practica voleibol, doesn't practice volleyball. And then nosotros, when we want to make a sentence with nosotros, we do something, then you, again, nosotros estudiamos biología. So we study biology en la universidad. Now maybe we want to ask a question about, do they study something? So of course in Spanish you start the question with an upside down question mark, and then you can either skip the verb or you invert the order and place the verb before the subject. So, por ejemplo, estudian ellos química. Los jueves. So do they study chemistry Thursdays? Every Thursday. And that's why we have los jueves. So again, los jueves is extra information, but then estudian ellos química los jueves. So we have a yes or no question. So they study. So they change the order. When you answer the question, because we're talking about they, we are keeping the same subject in this case because we continue talking about what they do. So you can answer with sí or no, and then it continues with a positive sentence or a negative sentence. So if we say sí, estudian, and in this case, because we already know it's about them, estudian química, o no estudian química. And last but not least, tenemos las frases, las preguntas that require an object or to complete part of the answer. So, for example, ¿qué estudian? What do they study? ¿Qué estudian ellos? So, ¿qué estudian ellos? You're asking for what they study. So we continue with the subject, verb, object, and then the complement. So in this case, we're asking what they study, so it's asking for the object here. So we have to provide an answer. So ellos estudian, we keep the same. Química. However, I may ask you all, ¿cuándo, when estudian ustedes? So when you have ¿cuándo estudian ustedes? In this case, of course, when do you all study? Then you have to answer with we study. So you have to change the subject in this case. And from you all, you have to think of, okay, we study. So in this case, we is nosotros. Capitalized. Nosotros estudiamos and every Thursday, los jueves, on Thursdays. And that would be it. Keeping sentences simple. Of course, when you want to use the past tense or the future tense or the conditional, whichever tense, the verb is the one that will change and will show us the endings appropriate to the present, past, or such. But that's the basics of making a sentence in Spanish.